you have to do things that are free. So I got lucky with that. And then secondly, we own a gym. So that forces me to be there more than, say, Kingfish is.
Don't you forget.
At times he's there regularly. I am there regularly.
Yeah, I do the work. The spotter. Don't forget the spotter.
He is the chief spotter. But I think the key to any physical program is regularity. You have to stay with it on some kind of regular basis. And Stephen's certainly more expert than I am on that. My early life was spent hiking and biking and climbing, and we've always been interested in the mountains. Did a lot of climbing when he was young. We climbed Mount Washington how many times? Mount Princeton, 14,000 foot mountain in Colorado. But more recently, just a regular regimen of not just walking, but on steep hills. We go down to the 1,000 steps at Huntington. Do that. There's a street in Clearfield, Pine Street's about as steep as anything around. I would hike from the gym over there, climb up and down a couple of times, and try to decrease my time every time. So this year, for example, when I started to do it in the spring, it took me 4 minutes. There's a light post at the base of the hill that was my starting point. So from there to the top took me 4 minutes. By the time I was ready to go on the hunt, I was down to 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So just pushing the envelope a little bit, stay with it, regular strength training and cardio regimen. Strength training is important too. Keep your leg muscles strong if you're going to climb mountains.
And acclimatizing?
Climatizing, I went out to New Mexico a week early and stayed at Santa Fe, which is 7,000 feet, and just walked around shopping every day until the Indians took all my money. And then I could just walk around. And I window shopped like that. And acclimatized the best I could. The thing I couldn't prepare for was the heat. It was over 100 degrees. And coming down, packing the sheep out was the hardest part of all. Heavy load. And the heat was about 2 miles steep downhill. And I was faltering a bit, I'll admit. So I said to Neil, you guys go ahead. I will eventually get down there. The road ran perpendicular to the mountain, so I knew I had to hit the road somewhere if I kept going down. He said, no, we don't go without you. We're going to stick around. So they stayed with me, and I poured water over my head. It was amazing, in that dry air, even though it was hot. The water with a little bit of breeze felt like air conditioning. So the heat's a problem with the desert. It's something I wasn't familiar with. All the other hunts I prepared for cold weather. This one you prepared for hot weather. Terrible.
Speaking of preparation, how many shots do you think you fired?
As soon as I knew in February, late February, that I got the tag, I started going to the range an average of 4 days a week, and I shot right at 1,000 shots in 5 months.
I got some of the pictures to prove it.
I would send Dennis, I'd send him a picture. That's a picture of a bullet hole here. At 400 yards, he said, that's not exactly in the middle.
That's right.
So Dennis was my shooting coach.
Speaking of distance, when you're talking about that, what was the distance of your
For
shot?
the desert,
For the desert.
221 yards at about a 45-degree angle downhill. And I was shaking so bad that I definitely, in the first minute, couldn't have hit an elephant. And Larry says, he turns into a Marine drill instructor when you get to the moment of truth. He says, you have to settle down. Yes, sir, I understand.
I'm settled.
Yeah, I'm settling right now, just stick with me, buddy. But when we skinned the sheep out, I measured, I'm just curious about that kind of stuff. The size of the body without the skin, from the backbone to the brisket was 20 inches. The bullet hole was at 10.
Exactly.
Right in the middle. So I loaded 1,000 shells and I shot them all.
Wow.
Various guns, of course. That gun would have been shot out if I used all of them.
So out of the 4 hunts, what was the most difficult hunt?
Well, I would physically,
And anyway, whatever.
mentally, the 5-week ones, that was a real difficult thing to stay motivated to get up every morning and start up that mountain again, you know. We get up into this terrain, with the snow and the wind, I said, man, this was like the North Pole of Mount Everest. We're doing this day after day after day after day. So that began to be an ordeal. Physically, the most difficult was the doll sheep. We flew from from Edmonton, Alberta, which is far north of the Canadian border. We flew 1,500 miles from there to Norman Wells in a jet. Then we flew 350 miles in a Twin Otter de Havilland plane into that base camp, landed on a dirt strip, flew another 100 miles in a float plane and landed on a lake. And then we backpacked 10 more miles to get up into the mountains. That was the most busy.
Wasn't it marshy on top?
Marshy, we had to struggle through that muskeg and tundra, and mosquitoes literally formed a tunnel. As you walk through, they just formed a tunnel around you. There were so billions of mosquitoes. And the guide was young. He was young and inexperienced, and he only took ramen noodles and oatmeal for food. And we were climbing every day, 12, 15 hours a day. Back at night, eat another ramen noodle, back up in the morning. By the 9th day, I was so weak I could hardly go. So the 10th morning, when we started up the mountain, I said, this is it for me. This is my last climb. I can't go again. About 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we were successful. I got that ram, and we cooked it and ate it right there, right where it's at. There's the evidence. We found a rock. He said the rock has to be 3/4 of an inch thick to cook that steak on. If it's any thinner, it'll crack. The heat will crack the rock. If it's any thicker, it won't cook the steak. So I cut the steak, and he found a rock.
That's great.
He knew if you got hungry, you'd get your sheep.
No, I was hungry, Jim. So, and that's my history up until this desert sheep. I told Davy Swatsworth, well, I don't know when I'll see you. I'll probably be out there a month or two. He said, no, the law of averages says that you're going to get one within 2 or 3 days. It's your turn to get one early. And I said, no, that's not my history. Look at my history. The last afternoon or 3 weeks beyond the last afternoon. So he took $100 from me on that.
Thank you, by the way.
I bought that rifle 25 years ago. It was built by Dale Goins, who's a master craftsman, obviously, in Cedar Crest, New Mexico, and I never, ever used it. And when I started my practice shooting this spring, I have 11 270s. So every day I would take 3 or 4 of them to the range, and they're all named, they're all female, they're moody, they don't work the same every day. And so I'd take 3 or 4 every day, and I told David, one of them's going to emerge the winner here. I'm going to marry one of them this winter. And
Commit to
it just kept, the ones I thought were going to be the best didn't work out that way. They cheated on me. So they let me down week after week, month after month. So finally it dawned on me, you know what? This rifle was built in New Mexico. I think it's fitting that it goes to New Mexico. So that's how it turned out.
So you're
And
having
then
it
her name is Dale Evans.
Okay.
You're
Roy
having
Rogers'
it
wife.
mount.
I'm going to have it mounted in the rocks with the full-size sheet mount.
So you won't use it again.
I will never use it again. It's only ever fired that one shot at the head. It's retired.
Why don't you pick it up and show us?
What's that?
Pick it up and show us.
You'll never see again.
That's a high caliber woman.
Get up there with him.
High maintenance, I
High
can tell you that. This is the Lamborghini of women.
Unlike your wife.
Yeah.
Is that a Tasco scope on that?
Yeah, yeah. It's a Remington action with a Tasco
I
scope.
thought it was a Remington. It looked
It's
like-
actually a Winchester with a straw.